All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to iCar's monthly association update. It's Megan Fluellen, your CEO, and super exciting. We have our 2025 president, Phil O'Brien, joining us.
Hi, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Super excited. We appreciated our time with Tyler, but every year we get a new president at iCar, so we are going to get a lot more Phil time this year.
Well, I've got some big shoes to fill, so we'll see what we can do.
Today, what we are talking about is a few different fun things. First, we're going to go through NAR, just dropped their annual profile of home buyers and sellers. So tons of great data and info on buyer-seller trends, what we're seeing throughout the country. And then just some iCar updates as well. A little bit of info on our membership survey, some new education requirements for members next year, good stuff like that.
Sounds great.
So let's dive in.
Great. Well, I am Phil O'Brien, the 2025 president, and this is our monthly iCar member update podcast.
Woo.
Yeah.
Okay. So to start things off, let's talk about the NAR 2024 profile of home buyers and sellers that they just released.
Sounds great.
Yeah. So this is an annual report. They do it every single year since 1981. So there's tons of data to kind of track year over year. What are some of the interesting things that you saw this time?
Well, being released in November, I think one of the first things that I noticed was that 1 in 10 home buyers bought their home in all cash, and I'm more surprised that it's the first time home buyer buying, in cash, but because I did see a lot more cash offers over the past couple of years, especially last year. But it does make sense with the first time home buyers because, there's money that's being transferred from generational. So they have inheritance, the median age of people buying is up now. Yeah. So that's giving people a lot more time to save and, present all cash offers. So there's a lot of factors with that and people borrowing against, other funds to pull cash out. But yes, cash offers with the first time homeowners are up. It's pretty impressive.
Have you seen them up with you locally as well?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's in this market, when you have competing offers, it's important to bring the strongest offer forward. And obviously sellers are always going to like an all cash offer. So, yeah.
1 in 10 of first time home buyers were all cash. And then 24% of all sales in general were all cash sales.
24%.
Yeah.
Oh, that's outstanding.
That's a pretty good chunk of it, yeah.
Another interesting fact that I see here that we're doing the research, 24% of all first-time home buyers were single women, which is actually more than double the number of male first-time home buyers. So that's a pretty impressive stat, I'd like to see those trends and the way things shift, but pretty impressive. And lower median income still outpacing male counterparts as well. And that, shows here with the lower median income, but still outpacing male counterparts. So that's looks like some smart financial planning. That's just really impressive. And just, I think the idea to move into ownership, sooner than later. And that's very impressive because the earlier you buy statistically, the better off you're set to build wealth and equity in the future. So Great job. Great job.
Yeah, the male single buyers have stayed pretty much the same over the last 20 years, between that 9 to 11%. So it's interesting to see those single women exponentially outpacing.
Yeah, well, it's a smart buy. And yes, that's
we
great.
like it.
Yeah, we like it.
We like
do.
women.
It's fantastic.
No, sure.
First, historic low, only 24% of all sales were first-time home buyers. So I could definitely see that because with the market being elevated with more competing offers, it's going to be more difficult for a person who's really trying to save and get all their finances in order to compete in that market. And a lot of the prices have jumped substantially, and that's going to edge out the first-time home buyer. So it's important that we really focus on affordable housing. We focus on, proper planning, but really get that first-time home buyer back up because that's a great segment of the population that the earlier you can get into home buying, like I mentioned before, the better you are. So,
yeah. And I think when we think of first-time home buyers, when we think of maybe people younger in their, lifespan, it's interesting that right now we're not seeing families buy.
No, actually that's, we're seeing multi-generational is on the rise, but families, that's actually going down. So,
yeah, I got to see what it was because it really surprised me. Out of all sales, only 24% of buyers had a child living in their home under the age of 18.
Huh. That's and conversely, like I mentioned before, multi-generational living's at an all-time high, 17%. I mean, that just seems that like people aren't, This I think could correlate too with the drop in first-time home buyers, because if people are multi-generational, living in their homes longer, as family units like that, you're not going to see them going out and buying their houses on their own. So yeah, I think that definitely does track and correlate.
Yeah. Interesting trends when you kind of put them all together, that people are buying later.
Mm-hmm.
They are buying maybe as a single individual, or they are waiting to buy until later on in life, saving up more of that all cash. Just interesting how those trends are shifting.
And that definitely, I can see that just in my experience. I've been doing this about 18, 19 years. And it's, with the median age rising to 80, with the median age rising to 38, I can tell over my experience in my tenure in real estate, when I first got into it, it was a lot of I was seeing 23, 24, 25-year-olds, doing their best to get in. And that's a substantial jump to 38 from when I first started. So maybe we can get some good, and I could say this, when I first got in real estate, there were a lot of incentives. There was the first time home buying credit. It was the $7,500, repayable loan that you had first. And then the following years, you saw the $8,000 forgivable loan came out. That was a huge bonus for first-time home buyers. I mean, if you could walk in knowing that you have a $7,500 credit or an $8,000 grant, why wouldn't you take advantage of that? So,
yeah.
So with the median age of first-time home buyers now being 38, that's a record high. Repeat second-time home buyers, median age 61. That's impressive. In the 90s, repeat buyers were median 34 years old. Today, first-time home buyers are older than that. 61 years old is the highest number reported since 1981.
Yeah.
So, to me, that would just kind of track that people are living in their houses longer. They're not, they're definitely not leveling up more and more. And so you're going to have that person who's getting to the age of possible retirement and going, it's time to downsize. And they've lived in their house the whole time. Mm-hmm. Fluctuating home markets, higher prices, maybe people haven't wanted to buy prior to that. Now they're getting ready for that second chapter and they're going, okay, it's time to go. And that could definitely push the age up to 61.
Do you think that 61 number is interesting? Because what I first think of is, are you getting a mortgage? Are you planning on staying in that home long term?
Yeah, I mean, and with the rise, I mean, I know we talked about the rise in cash offers with first-time home buyers, but I've definitely seen the rise in cash offers in general.
Yeah.
And this can definitely play into that, because if you've been there long enough, you've paid off your mortgage, and now you can take that and roll that into your next purchase. So I do think that part of it plays into also people, because we have certain, if you're a single a homeowner, you're not getting taxed on anything under $250,000. If you're a couple, you're not getting taxed on anything under $500,000. Well, a lot of these houses have grown in equity. They've grown in value. Their equity has been grown in the house. The value has grown, and some people will be getting more of, will actually be making more than that, and they're probably nervous to sell because they don't want to get taxed on the income. Yeah. Why? And without having a mortgage, why move? We're going to wait until we're older. So,
no, that makes complete sense.
Yeah, interesting.
Just a few more fun facts that we got from the report. I always think it's interesting comparing the sales that use a real estate agent compared to sales that go the for sale by owner route.
Yeah, I think only 6%, 6% last year was a for sale by owner, which is down. And I think that shows a rising trend in the confidence that people have in real estate realtors, because, there is a lot of factors that go into, one of the biggest ones is just pricing. Mm-hmm. One of the things that people need to get right out of the gate is having their house priced correctly. And by using a realtor, you have that experience, that market knowledge to know that you're getting that price dialed in right away. Mm-hmm. So, but yes, that is down. And I'd like to see that trend.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it makes sense too, when you're talking about absolutely pricing it right is really important. And for sale by owner sellers have a hard time with that. For sale by owner sellers also report that they have difficulty closing in the time period that they like to, selling it as quickly as they need to, and also working through the paperwork and all the documentation that comes once you do get that offer. Yeah,
I think a lot of times people will go online and there will be certain adverts and things that show how easy it is to sell your home if you just follow these simple steps. But it's a very nuanced process, and there's a lot of ups and downs. And, and there's going to be pitfalls along the way. And if you don't have the experience and expertise to navigate those pitfalls, that can cost you a lot of money. And it shows too, like I think with the average sales, I think it mentioned that the average median sale was $380,000 in 2023, and then far lower than the median of all homes, which is $435,000. So that's money that's left on the table. That's money that, a professional realtor can help you take back.
Yes. So like you said, out of all of the real estate transactions last year, the median price was $435,000. However, for those transactions that were sold for sale by owner, their median was significantly lower. That was at $380,000.
Yeah, that definitely is something that, plays into hiring someone with the expertise to maximize your investment.
Absolutely. Yeah. So these stats are just some highlights from the NAR 2024 profile of home buyers and sellers. There's a ton of data in there. It's available to members. So if you're watching this and you want to deep dive, see where we're getting these stats, drill into them further, check out that profile online.
Absolutely. These are all great tools that when you're meeting with potential clients, having this knowledge base is just going to increase the value that you're going to bring to your client.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, I'm going to talk a little bit about the iCar membership survey, which will be rolling out into all members' inboxes this week if they have not already received it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I really want to encourage people, please check it out. I know it's another email, and we do want to open those up because it's a great tool for us at the association level to really see where we can focus and where we can really bring the most maximum benefit to our members. And by seeing what people are looking for, what people want, that's just going to help us do better for the association.
Yeah, we try not to bombard you. We only survey you once a year. So even though it may take 10 or 15 minutes, we take all of that information and we give it to every committee for anything relevant. We send it to the board. Yeah. We really rely on that. So
it's a wonderful tool. And I think it's going to be great that we can see that feedback.
Yes. So please fill that out. The deadline is December 23rd. So just get it done before the holidays. And we will be doing a giveaway for a free quarter of dues. So if you fill it out, you're automatically put into that giveaway drawing.
Great contest to be in. Along with it giving us an added value of, helping us focus on our membership, what are some of the things that people can expect to see in this survey? Yeah,
super comprehensive of everything we do at the association. So we want to get your feedback on the tools and services that we're providing. Are you using them? Are you liking them? Are they working for you? The classes that we host, the events that we put on, anything of that nature. Are the forms working for you? Are the MLS rules and regulations working for you? So we want to make sure that your association works for you, but honest feedback is the best way to get that.
Thank you. Thanks for putting that together.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it looks like we're going to have some new fair housing requirements coming up in 2025. Can you kind of fill us in on what those are going to be? What maybe some changes or some highlights?
Absolutely. So NAR is coming out with a new education requirement for all Realtor members that starts in 2025. So right now, the way that you guys have code of ethics cycles that NAR dictates, and every 3 years you must take those ethics, and it's kind of irrelevant from your license renewal. It's NAR's deadline. They're now creating the same concept for fair housing education. So the same cycle as the code of ethics cycles. Now, every 3 years, realtors are going to have to take 2 hours of fair housing continuing education.
And that's going to be a requirement. That's going to be, but it will count toward the 36 hours of the total hours.
Yes. So those are 2 hours of continuing education credit. So you'll be able to use those as electives with your renewal, but keeping in mind that these are NAR's deadlines, not the Real Estate Commission's deadlines.
Yeah, so just be mindful of that when you're taking your classes. So,
yes, great. But there's plenty of options that you can use for them. Like At Home with Diversity is a course that would satisfy.
Fairhaven?
Fairhaven, yes. So they're redoing Fairhaven and C2EX to kind of add more content in there. So even if you've already taken those simulations, coming in 2025, there's new info in there. You can take them again, and that would satisfy this requirement as well.
And it's a very interactive course, I will say, with Fairhaven. It's definitely not just a, multiple choice or X, Y, and Z. It really does kind of bring you through the process of working in the fair housing laws and community.
Yeah, and it's free. So
it's free.
No reason not to.
Yeah, free 50 free. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll have more information coming out all throughout 2025 about the fair housing education requirement, but just keep it on your radars. It's new, it's required. And yeah.
No, that's great. Yeah. And I have to say, we're coming to the end of the podcast. This is the first podcast we're rolling out this year. First time I've done this. I can definitely tell the viewer it's a lot different being on this end than, just watching it. But I think this is a great tool, and I look forward to a lot more of these, kind of bringing some more information to our association. We did hit the recaps today with the NAR profile of the data that's come out for the last year. We got the membership survey coming up. That's fantastic. We got to all participate in that. And we'll be keeping an eye out for the new fair housing changes in the rules. So this was great. So thank you so much. And I appreciate all the help you put into it. Everyone behind the camera here that did all the work. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we will see you all here next time. Thank you.
Take care.